Hi guys, so today what we're going to do is bring in an image into Illustrator that's black and white or something that can be turned into a black and white image and use the image trace features and several other techniques to turn that outline into a vector that can be used on a laser cutter or on a vinyl cutter to be cut. In the past, when I use image trace, I've had some issues where the vector outline it created had actually double paths or multiple paths that actually caused the laser cutter to cut the same place over and over. And what I'm going to do now is show you the technique I've developed that will simplify everything and ensure just a single vector outline. So let's get started. I'm going to go to File, Place, and I'm just going to choose an image here to place that has some black and white. I'm going to select Place, and I'm just going to place it into my board here. And as soon as I do, you'll notice I've got the image trace button here, down here. And if I click it, I will see this little button here that will allow me to open up the panel. And I'll just want to talk a little bit about the panel and what we're looking for here. By default, it picked black and white because it saw it was a black and white image, or maybe that's the last thing I selected. I'm going to select the black and white logo preset, and that should change some of these values here. I'm also going to choose tracing result with outline so that we can actually see the outlines that they're going to cut. Now the important thing is our method. By default it should be on the abutting method, but if it's on the overlapping method, you'll notice that in some cases you'll get double cuts. You can see this blue line is an area that will be a vector, and then this will be a vector as well. You want to have the method of abutting selected. The problem with this method is it will outline all the whites, and then it'll go back and outline everything in black, and you'll see that means that you'll have two paths for every object in here, and so you'll be doubling up on the paths. So we're going to show you how to get rid of that in a moment. Go ahead and hit expand, and at this point you should see something that you think would be good to cut, but it won't. This will actually cut everything double because again, the white, I'm going to just click away and then double click into one of these areas and select just this object. This white is actually an outline, but you'll notice underneath there's also an outline for the black cutout. So what we need to do is select one of these white objects, and then we need to select everything else that has been created that is a white object. And the way you do that is you go to Select, Same, and then Same Fill Color. Everything that has the same fill color, and you can see it selected all the white outlines. I'm going to hit Delete, and that actually deletes every single white thing. So if I double click now, you'll notice I can't select this, but I can select the black. There is an issue. There is something called, there is a compound path, and what's happening, I'm going to double click into this black, and you'll notice that this is actually one object, and you'll see that the other objects are actually holes that have been created. So this is, although it's not, its own separate outline, it's actually a hole that's being cut into the black. And you can see the black looks like this, and these are all my holes. To simplify this so that I can select these holes without like messing things up, I'm going to just click back out, select the object once, and I'm going to go to Object, Compound Path, and I'm going to release all those holes and turn them into vectors. We're just going to go over here and we're going to swap the fill color, which is black, with the invisible stroke color, and you'll see as soon as we do that we can now see the strokes. And the nice part about this is if I double click, I can now move these holes around without them affecting the underlying image. At this point, things might be ready. I'm going to just double click on the outside here, but I'm going to select everything one last time and go to Pathfinder, and I'm just going to merge everything together just to make sure that everything is crushed into a single object at the same level. And when I do that, now I can actually select these objects. And you'll notice that these should be, you can obviously remove things that you don't like these things, but you won't have any double cuts, which is the important thing. To double check though, I always like to double check, you can select the object here, and you can go to Object, Path, Simplify, and if there were any double paths here, if you move the slider, you'll notice that they would diverge and you would see two lines that are happening. But since they're not diverging, this in fact is ready for laser cutting. Obviously, I'm going to click away and undo that so that it goes back to where it was, and I can use this file now for cutting on a laser. Hopefully this helps you a little bit. Remember, if you do import an object, so File, Place, that has just the opposite of what you need. So for instance, maybe this is what you want to import. This is kind of the opposite. You would do just the opposite. Again, you would make sure everything is selected. For here, you would go ahead and trace and then expand. But this time, instead of selecting the white, you would go in and select the black, go to select same fill color, everything black gets selected, you remove it. Now there's only the white. You can select the white. Obviously we can swap this and change our stroke color to something dark so we can see what we've done, and then go to Object, Compound Path, release all our compound paths, and then finally Effects, Pathfinder, and go ahead and merge everything together. And at this point, what you should be able to do is select the individual objects, and there won't be any divergence, and this is again ready for cutting. You can select certain things like these outlines and remove them, or you can work with any of these paths as if you were using Illustrator. Hope this helps.